You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hello. I'm your host, dini-mussolini. What is up? What is good? What is happening? How are you feeling? Welcome to today's episode, right? Yeah. So, I just want to tell you first and foremost, there are a little over, 31,000 of you guys on the line with us this afternoon. Thank you for your loyalty, for always tuning in as well, because you could be anywhere in the world right now. Well, actually, we're on the internet, so you actually could be anywhere in the world right now, like sipping a Mai Tai or whatever it is that you're doing, but you also chose to tune in to the show. So, of course, much gratitude, right? All right, turning lemons into lemonade. One trait that almost all successful people have in common is the ability to turn negatives into positives. Disappointments and setbacks will come for everyone, even the super achievers. The difference with successful people is that they are able to benefit from everything that happens, whether it's positive or negative. In fact, problems are a great source of opportunity. The way to change problems into opportunity is to adjust your attitude and your approach. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself and letting your problems get the best of you, take a proactive approach. And I'll give you 5 steps that you can turn problems into opportunities. Number 1, emotionally detach yourself from the problem. A guy once told me, you have 6 seconds to choose how you react to a situation. You're allowed 6 seconds to, be sad or pout or mad. But after those 6 seconds, is your choice if you want to stay in that mood or not. I said, it's pretty interesting. Number 2, don't get caught up in assigning blame. Number 3, instead determine why it happened and what can you do to keep it from happening again. Number 4, ask yourself who else might have this problem. Number 5, if you knew this was going to happen again next month or next year, what would you do differently right now? Don't let your problems get the best of you. Instead, turn them into learning and growth experiences. Take it from me, dini-mussolini, that is my word, and word is fun.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, it feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos and starseeds, and 2 times for my people who are vegans. We are averaging over 34,000 plus listeners, and we've been at this for 3 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we're still growing, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect. And we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on the show, from Grammy Award-winning artists, nominees, to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at theradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. And with that, hello out there, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Vigilantes Radio. Thank you again, as always, for tuning in and being a part of our audience family. You know the number to dial. It's 701-801-9813 to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in and mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. Scroll over to the Vigilantes Radio tab and slap that go live button, and you'll be right here live in the mix with all of us, or in the chat room. So feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here. And as always, all episodes are available for free download. You can grab that from Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, the app called Podcast Addict, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
Well, I don't want to keep 31,000 of you guys waiting any longer, right? Those are angry mob numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Today's interview is the Just Touch 360 interview, and I am your host, dini-mussolini, just in case you didn't guess already. So let's go ahead and dive deep into this interview. So our interviews go beyond the music, beyond the books, the movies, the businesses, and into the minds of the artists or people who create these marvelous aspirations. From researching our special invited guests relentlessly, mining for details, watching, reading, listening to everything we can. We're like TMZ, digging out the secrets. Our interviews are designed to bring out the best answers possible through thought-provoking questions that have real substance. Well, maybe we're not like TMZ, but worth the shot, right? So a sincere, warm welcome to the team from Just Touch 360 for being on our show today. We were having an absolutely amazing time talking with them about a brand new mobile app to aid students and athlete students. The combat against short attention spans and fast clicks, and how to overcome the pushbacks of a startup company. Point being, I'm sure they have a lot of incredible things to say here, and I don't want to give away too much. Sometimes I just talk and I get boring, right? So with that, let's go ahead and welcome them to our show. Hello, guys. You're now live in the mix with all of us. How's it going, and how are you feeling?
Feeling good, man. How you doing? I'm excited to be a part of your show.
Definitely, man. I'm glad that you're here today. So who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
I don't know if my GM is on the phone, but Jason St. Luce and Mr. Lowe.
Yes, I believe he is here. Yeah.
The founder and GM, both here from Just Touch 360.
Cool deal, man. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. So what's the weather like right now in Texas?
Oh, man, it's beautiful, actually. It's about 80 degrees. The wind is blowing. Astros just won. Everybody's feeling good. Cars are pulling over on the side of the road, getting ready for the little thing that they're having for them, the little parade they're having for them. So everything is great on this side.
Sounds good, man. A lot of hometown love there, huh?
A lot of hometown love, man. I think there's some bandwagon. I think there's a few bandwagoners, but we'll take it.
Definitely. Yeah, man, the Astros, they have an incredible season this year, right?
Yeah, they started a little slow, and then towards the end, and the middle and the end, they picked it up, and they've done a fabulous job, man. And so did the Dodgers. I think there was two great teams, and one had to win, and we're just happy that it was the Astros.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for taking some time with us today. I'm totally excited to be able to talk about the education and college prep app that you guys developed. And, well, that's what I hope we're going to talk about. Not a lot about the Astros and the Dodgers. I just had somebody on a few weeks ago who was a Dodgers fan. So he was looking forward to this game. And sadly, his team lost. But, oh well.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So actually, this is a perfect place to start. For those who don't know about your company or your product, give us an idea about who you are and what the company is all about.
So Just Touch 360 was really built in like 2007. We started placing just student athletes. And over a period of time, the lessons and the things that we were teaching those athletes was something that everybody needed. And given the fact that all of our employees here at Just Touch and Just Touch 360s were student athletes and actually graduated from college. So it's kind of one of those aha moments when we say, you know what, why are we just helping student athletes? We need to help students as well. So that's when Just Touch and Just Touch 360 was born, and we merged them together. What we wanted to do was even the playing field for all kids and give them the same opportunities to be able to take that SAT, take that ACT. And it's one of those tests that's kind of a regurgitated test. Like, you basically have to look at those questions, understand those questions, and then from that, you'll just get better and better over time. Yeah. Just Touch is our for-profit company. Just Touch 360 is our non-profit company. We didn't just want to put an app out and say, if you can pay for it, you can pay for it, and if you can't, you can't. We wanted to give an avenue for those who are in a tough situation. So that's the makeup of the company, and that's why they're both together like that.
Okay, awesome. Man, where were you guys in 2001? Because I really could use some help, man. With college choice, I ended up going to the wrong college and didn't even make it through because of that choice. 2007, wow. So do you still consider yourself a startup company?
We consider ourselves somewhat of a startup company from the standpoint of going towards the app version, right? Because we didn't always have the app version of it. So we look at ourselves as kind of like rebranding ourselves in that aspect. And, and we look at it from the standpoint of rebranding because now we're really heavily into helping students as well. The reason why we say student and student athletes, because we have $2.5 million worth of scholarships on the app. And then we also say student athlete because we have an assessment that'll help a student athlete reduce the cost. The average parent is paying between $15,000 and $35,000 a year, or in 3 years for their student. And then the average parent is paying probably around $25,000 to maybe $50,000 in preparation for their son or daughter to actually go to school. And then the crazy thing is that there's a 20% dropout rate. So you spend all the money for them to get to college, and then there's a dropout rate. So for us, that's why we added FaceTime and we added personality tests to be able to to help the kids stick and stay.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow. So you guys developed the app basically for not only more up-to-date, approach, as I can say, and since technology is taken over pretty much, but more so you can reach more students because you guys are based in Texas, right?
Correct.
Was the app solely created to broaden that reach?
Well, yeah, the app has been approved for both Google Play and Android. So anybody in the world who has a Google Android phone or Apple phone is Just Touch 360 and Android is Just Touch. And we just believe no matter if a parent is in Houston or in Washington, D.C. or in California, they're having the same conversations with their kids. Once they hit about the 8th or 9th grade, they're talking about, okay, we've got to start getting our student ready for college, and what are those incremental steps? Mm-hmm. And what we know is that from looking from the backside, we know that the numbers for both students and student athletes aren't great. So our goal is to figure out, okay, first, where's your student at? And then where does your student want to be? and how can we navigate them to that endpoint successfully without having the parents play an arm and a leg to do it.
Nice. Yeah, I wish you guys were around 2001. So tell us about what went into the development of this product. Like, where did it happen and how long did it take to develop this app?
It took about a year for it to be developed. The mindset is to pretty much get into the thought process of the steps that you naturally take, right? So the natural steps that an elementary student takes, a junior high and a high school student takes. And like I say, the conversation doesn't change. No matter where you are in the world, you have a state test, right? Mm-hmm. So we help with that. Then you get to junior high, and if you're a student, your parents are you're probably doing a lot more community work. You might start taking a few more advanced classes to get yourself ready for high school. That's for a student. For a student athlete, you're probably doing more camps, stuff like that. Your parents are trying to get you out there, trying to get, a scout to see you. And the crazy thing is that from elementary school to junior high, the average parent is spending about $10,000 just in that window. Yeah. Right? And there's no scouts around. And there's no nothing. They just spending the money just to put their kids in position. Right? That's just a position spend. Right? So because that's amateur sports. And then you turn back around and say, okay, well, both student and student athletes still got to prepare the same way, because no matter how many camps you do as a student athlete, if you can't get into the school logistically, all of the camps don't mean anything at all. Right? So they both have to prepare the same way. And then you have some people that travel abroad, and they have a lot of different things that they're doing in their life. So we wanted to be able to cater to that. We understand that the dropout rate is at 20%, and we understand that a college student on average changes their degree plan 4 times. So we said, well, how can we reduce this? How can we really help these students? Right? And then we also know from the medical side that 70% of children born in the U.S. have a mental condition. Mm-hmm. Right? And now it can lay dormant or it could never come out. But something happens. It's kind of like one of those things where you had a friend and you say, man, he was such a good guy. What happened? Yeah, right? Yeah. Because that breakup from that girl or something happened in his life. So our goal is to look at those statistics and say, okay, well, how can we develop a company that navigates through that successfully and help the student get an endpoint? Well, we want them to FaceTime with a professional, right? Because now if they want to be a doctor, right, we want them to talk to that doctor. We want them to talk to that veterinarian instead of saying they want to do it, and then they get to one of the greatest veterinarian schools and walk in and figure out that they can't stand the smell of feces. Well, now you're $30,000 in the hole and realizing that this is not something that you want to do. So that's the purpose of the FaceTime. The purpose of the personality test is because some kids have anxiety. Right? So now you want to go to this big school because your parents, went to a big school. You're in there taking a test and figure out that, all these people are getting up from the test and you're nervous. Well, there's an anxiety thing. So now if we can identify all these different things, now when it's time for you to select your college, not only will you have scholarship money, but now I need to go, instead of going to Maryland, I might need to go to another small school where they're going to put their arms around me. So you can make a true educated decision and a true personal decision.
Man, nice. Man, you guys sound like you're actually on a mission. And because those numbers are definitely alarming. But you're actually doing something about it with this app, with your companies. So I definitely admire that about you. But it sounds like you guys cost $1 million an hour. But what is it affordable? Is it for anybody? Like, is it for the kid from the slum and a single parent family?
Exactly. That's exactly what it's for. My mom had me when she was 13, man. So there's a lot of things that I had, and there's a lot of things I didn't. But the Just Touch 360 side is definitely what that's for. But the app is $3.
That's affordable. Yeah.
And inside that $3, you get the SAT, the ACT, GED testing, AP classes. Again, we talked about in the junior high and high school, they start taking more advanced classes. We have AP courses actually on the app, and it's actually for free. I mean, you can go. So just with the purchase of the app, you have state testing practice, you have ACT, SAT, GED, and AP courses, and personality tests are free. And we also have internships and jobs as well. So just for $3, you get all of that.
Wow. Man, that's cheaper than a 4 for $4 at Wendy's. Not that I know anything about that. I'm not vegan, but I hear things. But, oh, man, that is super affordable.
Right.
Man, that's incredible. All right, so aside from one of the apps being from Google Play or the Android and the other being from the Apple Store, what are some of the differences and similarities of these apps? Are they built the same in just different platforms, or is there something special about one of them versus the other?
Well, so there's only one app, and it's only one company together. So Just Touch is our for-profit, which is that's our for-profit really in both. We advertise Just Touch 360 as a sponsor of Just Touch, right? So Just Touch 360 is for those kids, and let me give you an example. We were placing kids, and we have 10 kids. 5 of the kids, they really wanted us to help them, right? They wanted us to help them like no other. We had 5 other kids that said that they wanted and posed as if they wanted us to help them, but underneath of it all, they really just wanted us to do the work for them. You know, you have those kids like, I really want it bad, but then you give them instructions for them to do, and then it's like, well, I really don't feel like doing it. So that tells me that you really don't want it. So we couldn't really, out of 10 kids, we couldn't really figure out which one really wanted and which one didn't, or which one had money or which one didn't, because at that point we wasn't really too involved with the parents yet. What Just Touch 360 allows is for those 5 who can pay for it, they're going to pay for it and they're going to go through it. Those other 5 that say, you know what, I really want it when I'm in front of them, but I really don't care to do it when I'm not there. Well, then what it forces them to do is say, listen, if you're not financially, ready to be able to pay for this, submit a letter into Just Touch 360 and tell them why they should assist you with the amount and with this and with your career, right? They have to write a letter. So it's like, okay, take the first step. Now, once they do that, Just Touch 360 will then play for half of that cost, of whatever the cost is. If they want to do personality test, whatever they wanted to do and get assessed, we'll pay for half of that cost. The other half of that, they have to work in the community, they have to fundraise, they have to show that they really want it. And by the way, Just Touch 360 will give them hours towards college, right? So they have to show the initiative. So that's why 360 is in place for those kids who kind of say they want it, but then they really don't show that they want it. So now they have to work through this program to show us, like a work program, to show us that they want it. And when they do, then we know, okay, that person is serious. They really want it. And then we start to dig pull our sleeves up and really dig in.
Whoa, that is more than fair. Even for, right. I don't want to say the lazy student, but that is more than fair. Make the first move, make the first step, and we'll meet you halfway. I like that.
Right.
I like that. So, as a new user of your app, how can I get the most out of it?
Well, I would say first figure out where you are and what you want to, what you really want to do. And it might be 5 things, right? And we're not here to tell you that 5 things aren't great, right? Because some people can multitask like crazy. But our goal is to say, what is it that you want to be? Well, I want to be a veterinarian, okay? So I'm in 10th grade. I want to be a veterinarian. That's what I wanted to do all my life. Once you realize where you are, then it's like a navigational system. Our goal as a company is to give you an endpoint. And what we say is when we give you that endpoint, like a navigational system, if it's not updated, It could give you it might be some windy, wrong turns and all this, that, and the other, right? You say, man, your navigational system is outdated, but at the end of the day, no matter how outdated that navigational system is, you eventually make it to your destination. And that's what we want to do. So if we know where you are, then we say, okay, you're here. Now, have you ever spoke to a veterinarian? No. Okay. So let's get you on FaceTime with a veterinarian. Ask them as many questions as you want. Have you taken the SAT yet? Or pre-SAT? No. Well, for $3, you can go in and take the SAT and the ACT as many times as you want to. You can pick out which level of study. Do you want to do English? Are you good at English but not at math? Okay, well, let's do math. Focus on what you're not good at, right? Okay, so now we got that out of the way. So what about your financial situation? Like, do you have help? Do you have a guardian? Are you on your own? Everybody's in a lot of different places. So then we say, okay, well, listen, go on to the app and then apply for scholarships. People think that it's all about how much money you make. It's not about that. I mean, they have scholarships out for buckle your seatbelt, for $1,000. What would do something crazy on camera for $500? You can get almost $10,000 just on trying. And then what we do is we figure out, okay, well, what college you want to go to, right? So then it's like, okay, so then we just keep narrowing down the playing field. What's your personality? Are you introverted or extroverted? Our goal is to get you to the end point and then be successful at it, right? Yeah. And what student athletes tend to do is work on what they're good at, work on what they're praised at, which is sports. Mama's clapping in the stands, daddy's clapping in the stands, and another coach invited you to a special team, and you're traveling all over the world. But then it goes back to the logistics. Have you passed the SAT? What's your GPA? It goes back to those fundamental things. So no matter how much money you spend, it goes back to those fundamental things. And what we want to work on is the fundamentals.
Yeah. But what about for the student who do not know what they want to do?
That's where the job and the internships come in.
Right? Tell me more. Because I ended up changing my major 3 times.
Yeah.
In college, yeah. Because I was one of the students who didn't really know what he wanted to do after high school or after the college period was over. I didn't know what kind of career I wanted.
Correct. Well, that's where the FaceTime comes in. You tell me what, hey, I think I want to do these 3 things. Okay, well, cool. Mm-hmm. But let's get you on the phone with a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, an astronaut, whatever it is you want to do. And then you can say, out of those 4 people I spoke to, I think I only want to do these 2. Okay, cool. Well, you still really don't know. So do you want an internship to kind of see what a day in a life? So now you spoke to somebody. Now do you want to see what a day in a life is? Yeah, I think that would be cool. So where are you located? Well, I'm located in Washington, D.C. Okay, so go on to the app, go to jobs versus internship, click refine search, put in your zip code, and type in what you want to be, hit search, and it'll tell you all the jobs and internships. And even if there's no internships available, if you see a job, just go up there and talk to them, just to see, closing the gap.
Yes, I definitely like that, the internship aspect. That's almost like a trial basis to see will you really like this type of career if you were working at it. So that's for students. All right, what about the student athletes? I heard you mention that some parents spend at least $10,000 to just put their child in placement to get scouted or wherever it takes for a student athlete. So how do you guys assist student athletes?
So first of all, for me being a former athlete, I always tell them what they're up against first. I want them to know what they're fighting for and what the odds are. Right? So for a D1 scholarship around the country for a football player, it's 2.6%, right? That you get a D1 scholarship. Okay? In Houston, I'm just talking Houston now. There's 32,500 kids on just the south side of Houston that's playing Pop Warner football. Right? That's Little League football. Parents paying probably $1,000 a year for them to play. There's 32,500 kids. In 2016, there was only 2,400 scholarships given to Texas athletes D1. So, my point is saying to them, the chances of you being a student athlete is very slim. So this is what we're going to do. But I'm not telling you can't accomplish it. But what we're going to do is prepare you to be a student. And on the way, if you just so happen to become and granted a scholarship and become a student athlete, you'll have all your, and you keep hearing me saying logistics, you'll have all of your logistics taken care of, because you still need those logistics to actually get into the college. So it doesn't matter, and I think that's what some parents don't get. They think the more money they spend, that's just going to propel them past, and it's not. So Little League football is spending $1,000. Times that by 5 years that they're playing, that's $5,000. All right. Then in camps, they go fast forward to junior high. In junior high, they're doing the same thing. They're going to football camps in the summertime. Let's say the same $5,000, maybe an extra $2,000 spent. Now you're at $7,000. So you're at $17,000, and there has not been one scout that's seen your kid. Now you're going to high school, and let's say you spent that same 10, you're at $27,000, and maybe a scout has seen your kid. Right? So now we're trying to educate them on the recruiting process and why the universities have camps and why they invite some kids and why they don't. So we want to educate them from the front to the back to put them in a position, a real position to succeed, instead of just spending money in hopes of succeeding. We want to put them in a real successful situation where we know college coaches and they're giving us real evaluations of these athletes and telling us really, what they need to work on, what they need to do, how much money they really have to be able to help this athlete. Like we want to drill down to the bits of it, right? The nuts and bolts of it, and see where we really are, versus living in a fantasy world and watching ESPN and seeing videos and saying we can be them.
Right. Man. So are you guys there every step of the way beyond this app?
In a way, yes, we are. I mean, the app, we put the app on the table. I'm going to give you a funny example. We put the app on the table as a meal, right? Because my voice right now means nothing once I'm off your show, right? Because it goes in one ear and comes out the other. And that's the same thing with parents, right? Sometimes they hear it and sometimes they don't. But the purpose of the app is like Thanksgiving dinner. When your grandmother cooked that Thanksgiving dinner and she put that meal on the table, it's good for that minute, right? And then you go to sleep and you watch a football game, and what do? You go right back to it, right? So we put something in place to where people can chew on it for a little while and start to realize, well, man, why am I paying $30 for a Barnes & Noble's book at $15 to $30, or for 2 books I'm paying $60, when I can just go download the app for $3 and get both tests for $1.50? Like, people started to figure that thing out. They started to say, well, wait a minute. Why am I getting a recruiter that I'm paying? There's companies out, NCSA, there's different companies that's charging $4,000 and $5,000 to help my son get recruited, when I can just do an assessment with Just Touch at $90, and they'll tell me everything there is to know, and it's a smidgen of the price. Like, why? It's something they can go back and chew on, and they have relationship with coaches that they can tell us what's really going on. So over a period of time, it's like wine, man. It ages, and people start to realize, well, why am I doing this? And the point of the app is to put the meal on the table. So even if I'm off your show, people can go back and chew on it.
Definitely. We got archives. But at what stage, though, should a student begin to use this app?
Elementary school, man.
Word.
Elementary school. Man, in elementary school, they're doing state testing.
Yes.
Right? So in Texas, it's STAR test. It may be something else somewhere else, but it's a state test. So we have state testing on there that comes in for $3. So it's free. You can take it as many times as you want. Right? There's scholarships out for junior high and elementary kids now. It may not be a $10,000, but it might be $400. Literally, right now. You hear about Nick Saban and all these other people offering kids in junior high and elementary school, right? So they can start applying this app, right? State testing, they can do that now. They have, AP reading and stuff like that. They can start doing that in junior high. By the time you hit 8th grade, now you're starting to really start preparing yourself for college, right? Mm-hmm. We can start helping them then. We can give them community hours with 360, right? We can give them community hours. So we're helping them all the way along that path, all the way up into college. Because we didn't want to be that company that said, hey, when you get to the 10th grade, come see us. You know how many kids from 12th grade to 5th grade that get lost in the system?
Right.
That's where your statistics come. Where 45% of kids never make it to college. Those statistics come from those kids in that 5th grade to 8th grade where they had a mental condition. Somebody, a little kid was in there and told them they was ugly in it, and that condition came out, and they never could overcome that. And so it just turned something that simple, turn their life around. Well, we want to catch that net. We want to catch them in that net. We don't want to just, so we're kind of walking them through with the app, and if we have to be on the phone and conference call and FaceTime with them, we'll do that too. But like you said, we are on a mission.
Oh yeah. All right. What about for the person who's already, tried college back, in 2001, and they say, okay, it's time to go back to school. Is this app also for them?
There are some scholarships on there that just says, hey, if you're enrolled into a university. Now, there's some specific to age. There's others that say as long as you're enrolled into the university and you have, if you're 12 to 15 hours, they'll grant you some scholarship money. So you understand, everybody might not be a 4-year college student. Some of them are a 2-year college student or trade school. We're all about that as well. We have people in all walks of life in the great state and the USA. So we want to cater to them as well. So if they only need $10,000 to go to a beauty school or whatever it is, to be a mechanic, whatever, we support that as well. Our goal is for you to find out what you love, whether you're a student that was in school and want to go back to school, or whether you're a student that's trying to find your way. Give me your starting point. Our goal is to find your end point.
Definitely. So what about the athlete students that wants to get scouted or has been scouted? When should they start to use the app?
9th grade. I would say 9th grade. 9th grade would be an ideal time. Even with me being a former athlete, I told my son he doesn't even need to play even really in junior high until maybe like 8th grade. And I say that, and a lot of people have a lot of different views about this, I'm sure, on your show. But, you can walk into any sport, I don't care, tennis, golf, whatever, and there's 10 kids, and you look at probably 5 of them, and you say, you know what, that kid got it. Mm-hmm. Those kids, you could just tell that they got, whether their parents worked with them or not, they got it. So my thing is that you can work with a personal trainer, which I know is not fun for parents and stuff. They want to cheer for their babies. I get that. But, you start talking about head injuries and you start talking about body breaking down and stuff like that. Why would you pay $40 or $50 or $60,000 for that 5th grade to 8th grade, getting your son's body beat up, and then either he has a chance or he doesn't, but he's going to live his life crippled? Like, why would you do that when the rate of even giving a scholarship in the U.S. is 75%? 75% of scholarships given in America are partial scholarships. So you're spending $60,000 to get a partial scholarship, and you're still going to be left with a balance. When you could have saved that money, got that partial scholarship, played your 8th grade all the way up, got that same partial scholarship, signed up for the app, and got the rest of the money and put it together. Mm-hmm. But now your baby had to go through 5 to 8 years of getting his body beat up.
Yeah. Man. So let me ask you this. What obstacles are you facing now that we're here in 2017? Parents want to spend a lot of money. I think the world of sports and education has done a great job of telling them that they need to do this and they should do that, and they have programmed them to say it costs a lot of money to do it. And our hardest thing is to say, telling them and say it doesn't cost that much, and they're like, well, it doesn't cost $3.
And I'm like, we can get it done, and we can help your son. For if you spent everything that there were to spend on our app, you still would spend less than $150, and you can get it done for that. But it's hard for a culture to believe that, because for the last 10, 20, 15 years, if they're not dropping 15,000 plus, then you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
And that's been the hardest thing for us to kind of overcome, because it's almost like it's that thing that's too good to be true.
Yeah. So given that, what do you have a plan of attack to overcome these pushbacks?
Well, just remain consistent, man. And to let I mean, our backgrounds, you got a guy who graduated from Purdue University, engineer. We got another guy who went to North Carolina State, engineer. We got another guy from Penn State, engineer, Northwest. I mean, so these guys are guys who actually played and done it. So it wasn't a guy. We're not a bunch of guys who just say, you know what, let's do a cool company. We're guys who have actually gone through the rigors of collegiate athletics, both as a student and a student athlete on a high academic level, and saying, you know what, we can help a lot of kids if we do it this way, right? And we didn't want to go back to let's charge $1,000 and only get 2% of the market. But if you get 2% of the market, you're still making a lot of money. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to even the playing field. So the people who are at the top is no problem. The people in the middle, not a big deal. The people that maybe struggle a little bit, that still want to do better for themselves, can still find that way. And if not, they can reach out to us.
Nice. So I know your app has a FaceTime feature. But how does Just Touch 360 fit in today's society of fast clicks, short attention spans, and the ever-changing pop culture of selfies and social media marketing?
Well, that's actually why we even came up with the FaceTime, because you have a student that has been at school from 7 in the morning till 3 o'clock in the evening, but yet will come home and sit at the table and call their friend who they've been at school with all day and FaceTime. Right? So we're like, well, why don't you do that same thing, but with something that's going to progress your career? Right? We talk to families, they travel. We travel all the time. We don't have time. People don't like to go into SAT, ACT tutoring places where they have to sit down and give up their time, because like you said, it's fast click, it's on the move. So that was the whole point of us putting the app together, because the days of just having somebody come over and sit down and you do tutoring for 2 hours seems like it's almost gone.
Oh yeah, it is.
So we had to put it, when you're in the airport, you can practice on the SAT. When you're on the beach, you can practice on the ACT. If you're trying to get your GED, you can practice on that test. If you're in AP classes, you can practice on the test. If you're looking for a job in the summertime and you're coming from college, you can look while you're in the passenger seat, or while you're on a plane, you can look for a job in your local area. So our whole mantra is to basically cater to what's going on to society, but yet make sure that parents aren't paying an arm and a leg for it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's a great answer. And as we know, in this day and age, a lot of hacks has been going on. Personal info compromise, even with some of the larger companies. So security is always very delicate, subject, especially when talking about personal info, money, and assets. How do your software handle security issues within the app?
It's funny that you asked me that, because we just had a meeting over that actually yesterday, and making sure that we have the top security that there is out. So for us, we look at these young adults as our babies, and we use a lot of codes where we just give a code to a school and they just use a code versus using people's name. So we're very big on safety. So if we have let's say we have a school district that wanted to get, have 80,000 downloads for their entire school, they don't give us 80,000 names. They just basically pay for the app and we basically give their school a code, like Northridge High School 2275, right? And then they put that in there, and if they use that code, they have 80,000 downloads, no names included. So we're very big on security. We're going to do the best that we can. We're going to put the best security system out, and just hope that someone's not smart enough to do anything with it. But we've taken all the proper precautions.
Definitely. All right, cool. I feel safe then. All right, so user interface and user experience are key to successful mobile applications. What's your opinion and tips on getting the most out of the interface of just Touch 360?
Well, just to take a few steps back, when we were doing an interface, what we wanted to do was to make sure that, when you first start building an app, you want it to be cool, right? Like it's your first time. So you're like, oh man, I want this. I want all of these things on the app. And then you start to realize that when all of these things on the app, it causes it to crash more. It causes links to go out. It looks cool, but then, on the backside, the engineers are working like crazy because more people are coming to it and clicking on it. So what we decided to do, after you looked at the things that were cool, and we looked at the things that could possibly crash the system, and breach of information. We looked at all those things. So we decided at the end of the day that we wanted to make the app very straightforward. We wanted to have a nice look. We wanted to be easy to handle. We wanted to be able to switch in and out of the different interfaces. But we also wanted to be straightforward. You don't have to. We wanted from somebody who's 80 years old to somebody who's 9 years old can say, oh, that says job. Okay. That says internship, okay. That says scholarship, they know where to go. So our goal was to make it as user-friendly as possible, but kind of keep it cool at that, keep it a cool thing. And then we also didn't want to make it heavy, because we know when you're downloading apps, one of the major things I look at, and it was something in our board meeting, was that if an app is, 68 megabytes or whatever, it's like, man, I don't want that huge thing that's sucking up, all of my battery. So we wanted to keep most of our information in the cloud. That's another security thing that we do as well. We keep everything in the cloud so that people's security is not on the flat interface. That's another safety precaution. So we made it to where someone who has a phone that's, I won't say, that's cost effective, a Cricket phone, or a smaller version or a smaller wireless network, they could use it, as well as somebody who's on a bigger network could use it as well, and it won't lose its functionality.
Nice, yeah. All right. So, last and final question. How can businesses get connected and sponsor a student or student athlete?
Go to Just Touch 360, man. Tell us what they want to do, what phase of it do they want to do. Do they want to do the FaceTime? And, this is the thing about us. Most nonprofit organizations, the first thing they want to do is they want a handout. We want either, if you want to donate, that's great. But what we also want is jobs. We go up and tell them, and when they see us coming, they think that, they want a donation. No, we want you to donate a job, because what that does is that brings the athlete closer to the business. So, for example, Chick-fil-A, we all know that it's hard to get a Chick-fil-A job or franchise, right? It's hard. It's very difficult to get a Chick-fil-A franchise. But now that we're trying to do business with Chick-fil-A, what better person to have open a franchise for you than somebody that you gave a job to, that's been working in your franchise for the last probably 10 years, off and on as a student, and who's been being mentored by several of your managers. And then 5 years later, this person wants to open a franchise. It will be very easy for them to give them the keys. Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is go to those franchises and these businesses and say, listen, you're having a hard, the one thing you hear a lot is it's hard to find good work. Well, it wouldn't be as hard if these people were working very closely with the students and letting them know the ins and outs of daily routines of what's going on, so that then the student can really make a real good decision and say, you know what, I'm in the right field in school because I really know this is what I want to do and I love it. And then the passion comes out, and then now they soar in school because now they know they're in what they want to do. They've found their niche. They've found what God wanted them to do. And that's when you get it, it's like when the light come on. When you get it and it's yours and you own it, that's when you got it. So they can donate if they want to, but we also would love for them to donate jobs as well. Internships, FaceTime, we want them to donate that as well.
Okay. All right, sir. After the music break, we'll be back to put our guests in our traditional hot seat to either hear some good old singing or poems, spoken word, freestyle rap, jokes, stories, or live instruments. Well, you never know what these creative minds and geniuses will produce in the spotlight. So when we come back, we'll find out if he has what it takes to be put on the spot, a test of his true artistry. But for right now, we have an artist by the name of Farrah with her song called Self. We'll be right back.
Tell me what you want now. Why'd you come back now, baby? I thought you wanted hurt now, baby. Oh, you didn't like the lifestyle. Well, now I gotta flex on you. Look what you made me do. Now I gotta flex on you. Look what you made me do. I really want it. I really want it. Wanted this for us, but I really want it. I really want it. Wanted this for us, but we started, we failed. I see you checking for me. I know you gotta miss me. Raise up, you know you diss me. Who's that? She's there. You wanted her, so there. Hush up, you everywhere. With me, you love to stare. So tell me, where do you wanna go? Cause with me, I already know that coming with me is a no. So nigga, content you to scroll and favorite all of her tweets as if I meant anything. I heard you so much, what you mean? My effort just went unseen. I really want it. I really want it. Wanted this for us, but I really want it. I really want it. Wanted this for us, but just lie to me, baby. Just lie to me. Just lie to me, baby. Just lie to me. Just lie to me, baby. Just lie to me. Just lie to me, baby. Just. I'm so saucy. I'm so saucy. I'm so saucy. I'm so saucy. Grab me gently, soft but squeeze me, put me on the wall. Kiss me softly, no more maybes, baby, I'm all yours. I really want it. I really want it. Wanted this for us, but I really want it. I really want it. Wanted this for us, but wanted this for us, but wanted this for us, but.
All right, and we are back. That was Farrah with her song Self. So I just want to tell you one step at a time. Do you have some daunting task or large project facing you? Are you having trouble getting motivated to do it? The best approach is to break it into small, manageable parts. Work on each part one at a time until that part is finished. Then go on to the next part. This approach has many benefits. First, it gives you a way to work on your project when you don't have a lot of time available. For example, if you have only 15 minutes until you need to leave for an appointment across town or whatever it is you have to do, you probably wouldn't even consider doing any work on your large project. That's just not enough time to get anything done. But it is enough time to do a little work on just one small session. You'll be surprised at how 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there will add up. Also, you get more of a sense of accomplishment along the way as you finish each part. Not only that, but this approach makes it easier for you to delegate work to others if need be. Go ahead, test out your boss skills, right? Take one step at a time, and consistently, and you'll get there. You'll get there. Trust me on that. That is my word, and word is bond. Let's go ahead and bring the man of the hour back. All right, man, you're now back live with us on our hot seat. What do you have for us?
What's the segment of the hot seat? Tell me about that. What do y'all usually do on the hot seat? I'm new to this.
Okay. Usually a musician will probably do something that's along their lines, but a lot of CEOs that we get, they may tell me a joke or a story. And funny thing, some of them actually got some talent in music, so that's always a surprise if they bust out singing or something. I mean, you can even give us some inspiration if that's what you want to do. We'll take it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, I'll give you more of a story for me. Being from a small town in Houston, Texas, I got an opportunity of a lifetime to actually be recruited by a few schools. Ended up going to Purdue University. Never have been in the snow. Never have been in 14 inches of snow in my life. Never knew what that part of the world felt like. And so for almost 10 weeks, we had to walk through 14 inches of snow, go to practice, do a lot of things that was challenging. And it really challenged me as an individual. Like, is this really something that I want to do? Like, I really, the rubber kind of met the road. I'm a Texas boy. I'm not used to, the high is -2. That's something that I'm not interested in. And so, long story short, man, it was a very grueling time. I told my mom so many times that I really wanted to come home. Like, this is not something I'm interested in. And she looked at me and said, I've never raised a quitter. I've never done that. And so right there is when it changed me. And when I was there, I became the all-time leading rusher there. I finished with 3 degrees from Purdue University, and
wow.
And it just and my thing to say to kids is that it's never too big for you. And going back to what you just said in the opening, you got to break it down to small things, because big goals really breaks down to small incremental things. And so, it was one step at a time. It was one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time, and just, getting off a plane and actually going into a tutoring session after playing against Ohio State, but knowing what my end point was, knowing where I was and knowing where I wanted to be. And, just keep your eyes on the prize and continue to handle the logistics. The logistics are the key. You'll win.
Definitely. All right, man, that is great. And time for me to let you do some more talking here. This is our soapbox, our way of saying thank you for putting up with all my rambling and donating your time and answers to us all. So take a moment here to say anything else that you like to comment on, anything that I didn't mention that you would probably like to talk about. The floor is yours, my friend. Oh, be sure to mention your name again and websites where we can all connect with you, view the product, and feel free to go into detail about all the bells and whistles of the mobile application of Just Touch 360.
You can find Just Touch 360 on Android at Just Touch. On the Apple Store, you can find it in Just Touch 360. The website is www.justtouch360.org for those who want to donate or donate jobs. You can contact us at contactjusttouch@gmail.com. You can also call us at 409-373-1516. That's 409-373-1516. I'm sorry about that. And what I would want to end with, man, is just I want parents to really take a look at your budget. and know that for your son or daughter to be successful, it's not an arm and a leg charge. It's really not. I know that you probably have recruiters and people and different businesses around you that's telling you that, this is the way that you need to go in order for your son or daughter to be successful. And I'm not saying now that they're not good business. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, sometimes take a step back. And I want you, and believe me, I don't even know you, but I want your son or daughter to be as successful as they can be. And we want to put them in position for success. Again, we have $2.5 million worth of scholarship money available. As far as student athletes, we've placed over 6,000 student athletes, and that totals about $100+ million. You say, well, how can that be? When you break it down, it's only $18,000 per semester. Mm-hmm. So, we've done probably more than that at this point. So we can help your son or daughter navigate to a successful career without killing your pockets, and so that you can live after your kids are going off to college and much thereafter. So we look forward to helping you. We look forward to speaking with you. We look forward to working with you, and be blessed.
Right. All right. To make a donation, guys, visit donorbox.org/just-touch-360. And thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out our podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1media group, iTunes, YouTube, any app on the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website, which again is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a guest to come on our show, or send something for me to play, email it to chatwithdini@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it. Here's my disclaimer: we're genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that, because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, dini-mussolini, I appreciate you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. I know we reached our hour mark, and if you have questions, please email me, and I will forward them over to Just Touch so they can connect with you. And also, there are links in the description of the show, so all you have to do is just click the link. My fingers did all the work for you, and it'll take you right to the website, as well as the donor page, as well as some of the social media pages. So make sure you spread the word, because sharing is caring. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience on our show. Be sure to connect with us at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, final thought. Just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable, because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace, and we'll see you guys another time.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.